Guys, welcome to your May 2023 meeting. Oh, I meant to say reading, but oh my God, we're already in the field. You know how it is. Welcome back. I've been on a little bit of a break, getting my regrouping going on and just calibrating my field and doing all of that fun stuff. And yeah, so I'm going to start with still giving you the May 2023 reading, even though we are coming up to mid-May. You know exactly where to find me if you would like to get some work done personally. If you need any assistance along that line, I'm right there. You can always check out my YouTube channel for any free content. You're welcome. Also, anything else? I feel like there's so much more I need to say, but I've been on such a break that... Oh yeah, these readings are timeless and signless, so it doesn't matter when you're watching these videos. If it crosses your path, then chances are it's for you. And you don't have to have any specific natal placements in order to know whether this video is for you. Just come, and if it resonates once again, then likely it's for you. I do want to point out that I'm using 3 decks here, and it's so cute. This Divine Masculine deck that I'm using, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's funny because as I'm putting it here, it came across like money. And they said to draw 4 cards, and the idea is like money being paid for January, February, March, April. So whatever has been going on, right? We're reading these fields, and if you have been feeling like you've been doing nothing, or you've been out of shape, or just whatever it is, it's almost like they're saying you're being paid for what you've done. So whatever you're doing, you've been doing a great job. Let me just adjust this table. You've been doing a great job. So long story short, you may perceive of yourself as having been a little bit off path, but that's not necessarily what I'm getting. I do get the word 7, and they're referencing it as if it were the 7th day of the week, and today would be like the 4th day of the week, right? So you're not quite done with your process. That's also a little bit of a wink and a nod to the process in terms of months. We just got out of April. That would be the first 4 months. We are in the 5th month, and they're just saying it's kind of a reference to the 7th month being kind of out of whatever this process is that you've been undergoing. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I have to disappear 1 second again. That's interesting because wow, okay. And I'm back. It's funny because why I said that's interesting is because you guys know that once I press play on these readings, everything that comes through is part of the reading. So I noticed that while I was talking to you, I had to adjust the table, and then I went behind the table and I just stood there and I was still talking to you, but I wasn't at the table and you were making your moves and you were listening and you were doing your thing. Then I came back and I had to go get my glasses, and then I came back here and started telling you about it. So what I'm getting is they're communicating with that whole setup what we all kind of just went through with the collective, in the sense that obviously I channel messages for the collective, and there was a moment where all of the messages that I needed to channel had been channeled, but I needed to step away. And during that interim, it's almost like it was your job to not, how can I say this? Because I want to make sure I get the energy right. It was your job to show up and show out is what I'm getting. So it's that moment where maybe your guides were giving some of you little perception tests and check. Maybe you were being quizzed on whatever lessons you were learning. So the idea is like, okay, well now I'm doing my thing, and what have I learned, not only from this stuff here, but in general that's going on in your life. What have I learned, and most importantly, what can I demonstrate? So some of you may really have been going through some stuff, and sometimes we don't know when our higher selves and when our spirit teams are assessing what we're doing for the sake of learning, kind of like a test. And I do feel for a second that some of you are going through that, and I'm getting it was for about 3 to I felt 3 weeks first, and then I heard them say 3 to 4, and then they switched it to months. So 3 to 4 months. No, now they're saying they skipped it. So what I'm getting is that some of you, it's almost like, God, wow, the frequency was so quick. Skip it was your process may have started off with 3 to 4 weeks or something, then got elongated to 3 to 4 months. But I'm also being asked to remind some of you that there were quite a few of you that God bless you, that I had done some work with. So some of you remember we worked together maybe at the beginning of the year, shortly before the year started, and the guides, your spirit team was communicating to you that you were going to be involved in like a 6-month process of unfolding energies, right? So I just want to remind you, we're within processes within processes within processes. So just be aware of that, right? It's not like a one and done, like, oh, I just had this reading and I had this healing and now I'm done. So usually if you're having a session with me, there's always an energy healing component to that. And so there's work being done. And a lot of times the guides will communicate to you during the reading how long certain processes will take to unfold. And so just a quick reminder, you're still in that process, all right? I'm getting 8 months and they're saying, and no more. So the maximum amount of months here is about 8 months. I'm also getting a little bit of a nod to somebody. So somebody here, God bless you, I'm getting is going through some type of legal proceeding, and something, it may not even be about you. It may be related to somebody in your life who's the one who's on defense right now, who's going through the court case and may be on the defense side. So someone who is needing to combat some type of case or something, and maybe there has been a guilty verdict. It's what it sounds like for whoever this is, God bless. And they're saying that when it comes to sentencing, it's not going to be any more than 8 months, okay? So however that hits for whoever you guys are, God bless you, just go ahead with it. Wow, I feel like we have so much to catch up with. God bless, right? There's so much. And anytime I say God bless, I don't want you to get confused, because I had a friend, God bless if you're watching, who always thought, it's being used in the Midwest way where it's like, oh, bless your heart, that very patronizing term, but it's actually not. It's almost like an energy moves through me, and that's the moment, like that's just the way it comes out. So just imagine, yay! The Hermit. This was a card that, I wanted to check underneath the deck. We have the Hermit, but look at the Hermit. He's looking good. I don't even need to look at I know you're like, but Jay, he's skin and bones. I know, but think about it. The Hermit, the way that he's usually rendered, he usually looks extremely ascetic, extremely in disrepair. He's cloaked. He's not showing his face. He's kind of moving through the landscape at night. But as we see him here in this deck, this is called, I believe, the Divine Masculine deck or Tarot or something like that. You'll find the name attached to the video. But here, look at him. His cape is like, it's open. He's like at one with nature. It's almost like he aligns with the coloring here of this design on this stone, just showing it's like what he's learned. It's almost like he's transferred his pain onto something else, and not in the negative way, like you're projecting, you're transferring, you're not dealing with it, not like that. It's almost like he's cast off his chains and he's like maybe he's affixed it instead. It's like psh, right? Because we see this long staff, we see the brown. It's like he threw all that pain off and it hit this stone, and now it's just a mark in time. He's submitted his stuff, his past, his whatever he's shaken off and he's worked through to the annals of time. And now if he wants to access it, he's no longer carrying those frequencies, right? I was saying, God bless. Yeah, he's now going to have to access that in his Akashic records. This is a rite of passage is what I'm getting. And in fact, look at this arc right here. Look at this beautiful light. It's like coming through, and it's almost like he's walking between worlds, right? So this is your energy. This is representing you all at this time. And you may know that we are going through some major shifting. And in fact, look at this card right here. Ding, 2 worlds to show that 9 minutes and 9 seconds completion en route. Oh, look. 18, that's 9, right? But I want to show you this. Look here. Oh, it's so funny. They were like, oh, look, there's an 8. And then here's a 9, right? So there's the 9 again. So we have a new beginning. This is the card that is underlying the deck currently for all of these energies. We have the Ace of Wands, brand new beginnings, stepping into the sunshine, being here, being there, being everywhere. And the first card that I put onto this table was the World card, showing the ending of something major. So just to show you, we've got endings, we've got beginnings, we've got beautiful beginnings. We have two cards here that show a little bit of up in the air action, a little bit of two worlds. But please know that you have safely traveled on to 10 minutes and 1 second, 1001, on to the next path. You've moved into the next realm or space. And in fact, here, 10, look, in fact, look, here we have the 10 of Wands, 1001, right? Hey, they are not playing. And this is about him releasing his burdens, unburdening himself. But it's almost like he's holding these things, but they're not his burdens. And on top of that, he's come through. And now he's like, here I am. Right? So lovely. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment. Okay? Lovely. So as I am checking these energies here in the month of May, I believe, what is today? Oh my God, what's today? May 13th. This is coming up to mid-month. I do want to say that the energies are looking good. I do see here also the energy of initiation. Some of you, I have to be honest, it feels a little bit collective. Let me feel into this, because I'm like, is this most of the collective? Is this some of you? I'm hearing 30 months is for somebody. I don't know what that refers to, but I'm getting that some of you may have turned down an opportunity for an initiation of some sort, is what I'm getting. But here's what I want you to know. I'm talking energetically. Now, it may have manifested in your life as an offer to do something or join some group or to launch yourself in some way. I feel that you've turned that down, 11 minutes 33. But here's what I'm getting. I'm feeling a little bit of you think that you've stepped back like this. Sorry, you stepped back. But what I'm actually seeing is like this move in Tai Chi where you're like coming back and then you're pushing forward again, right? So this is what I'm getting. I was just going to say it's like a tidal wave, kind of like a wave coming in. And just as I said that, we see the waterfall. What they're saying is you've been given a key. And here we have an open door here. This looks really great because look, you're getting this offer. This offer is not going anywhere is what I'm getting. It's very strong what they're trying to communicate. And it's this idea that you were given a key that you thought you had turned down. Some of you may have perceived it as having missed an opportunity, or you weren't ready, or you couldn't handle it, or someone, I'm not getting that you thought someone took it away, but maybe some of you may be making that mean that for you. But Spirit is saying that you were given something because you've passed through something. There are so many portals, we've passed through many things, but you're done with your past. You were given a key, and when I'm talking about a key, I'm talking energetically. Access has been given to you to step into something greater for yourself. And we have the initiation energies. You have the key in your pocket. It's almost like, hey, go ahead. And it's so funny because guys, I miss doing readings. I love readings. I mean, I did some client ones, but I mean, you know what I mean. I just have these two cute little like zip up pockets. Cute. And I don't know if you heard me, but I unzipped them. And now, because just to play with them while I'm talking to you. And now they're saying pockets. It's almost like I want to tell you, hey, take a look in your pocket. And then when you look in your pocket, you're like, oh my God. You just imagine, right? There's a key in here. What is this? Oh my God. And you're probably wondering, where does this go? But first of all, I heard and I repeated, just imagine. So Spirit is saying you already have it, right? So you've been given this access. And here is almost like the office. Your office has been waiting for you. So some of you, whatever this is that you've been given access to stepping into, whether it's a new home, a new job, a new awareness, a new position, right? If you're on my calls, God bless you, thank you. You most likely have some type of service contract in your soul contract, so you can or can't call yourself a starseed or light worker, whatever you choose to refer to yourself as. I like to think of you as having a contract for spiritual service, however that manifests, and whether you want it to or not, and how you do is up to you. But I'm seeing that here, and so you best believe that you've got an office somewhere. You've got things, you've got merchandise, you've got whatever it is that you can think and dream, that you know, if you connect with your higher self, you sit and you get quiet and you start really connecting with yourself, you'll be like, oh, I know what I want to do. And you better believe that you can have it. It's just there for your taking, right? So that's what I'm getting so far for you right now. What was I going to do? There was something. Oh, I wanted to make a quick note. Okay, gotta. By the way, if you don't have one of these, what are you even doing with life? Okay, just so you know, I'm about to make a quick note right here. Oh, not on screen, off screen. What's the note? Oh, the note is 12 minutes. All right. Later I'll be like, what does 12 minutes mean? Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and look at this money. This was money, as they said. And it's funny because it's like being paid for the months. And look at this, the Six of Pentacles. This is showing energetic, oopsies, exchange. Hold on, let me take a sip because you know I always have a hot beverage. Guys, come on. Oh, they're showing me this before I can go to the money. Spirit is showing this. Here you are, super cutes, with the Hermit. And look at you looking back. What are you looking at, yo? You're looking at yourself. You're looking at who you used to be. Who you used to be. And what card are you appearing on? The Seven of Swords. Meager. Now, in both cases, they're both looking, I'm not going to lie, a bit emaciated, right? They've got that ascetic appeal going on. However, one of them kind of looks a little bit, to my spiritual eyes, a lot more healthy. And that would be the Hermit. Here he's illuminated with the light. He knows his dark days are behind him. See all this rocky place? It's almost like that represents where he was before. And here he is primping on the Seven of Swords card. And there's this idea of like he's meager, he's peacocking, but there's not really much there. There's no substance. And I'm getting that this is pretty significant because a lot of you have stepped out of a place of a lack of, a few words came up, a lack of, I wanted to say integrity, but the word that wanted to come out is lack of authenticity. Also, what was the other one? A lack of authority wanted to come out, a lack of authority. And that, who you were having authority over, it could simply have been yourself, was lacking. But I do want you to know that it's pretty significant that here you're being depicted on the Seven of Swords, which denotes deception, right? There's deception. And I just moved my hand here because I felt like they wanted to compare this cute little symbol with this. These are two swords crossing to make an X kind of look. And then they showed here, there's another X, but there's a 1. Spirit is saying what was lacking was your connection with the one, right? Oneness. And where's the oneness? It's within you. The God was within you. It's not outside of you. And it's funny because I have a counselor that I work with, like a advisor, intuitive counselor that I work with, and I've been working with him, God bless, for the past 12 or 13 years. He's great. Anyway, so one of the things that he does is mediumship, and when I was seeking a reading with him, it was earlier this year, one of my ancestors came through, like my grandmother from this lifetime, who I don't remember meeting as a child because I was a kid, but she does. She remembers me. But in the past, she was my mother, right? And so one of the things that she communicated was that she said, you won't believe this at this time, at this time meaning here on earth, but God is within. So ever since that, and I've heard people say that, right? We all hear that. But ever since then, I've kind of sat and I've wondered, what does that even mean? If really it's going to have to be arrived at in a different way based on who you are, because it has to start with first of an idea of what you believe God to be. For some of you, God may be, for example, an organizing principle. Well, no, for some people it's an anthropomorphized kind of energy. God gets angry, God doesn't want this, God blah blah blah. That's the superimposition of humanity and human foibles and sentiments and distinctions onto something else. For some of you, God is a spirit or an energy that can animate objects or whatever. For some of you, it doesn't exist. For some of you, well, it doesn't matter, right? But the whole point is there's certain things that we would have to unravel and step out of in order to probably get closer to that. For example, I was thinking, well, if God is quote unquote within me, then an implication of that for me is that maybe certain things that I'm doing, God would be made null and void. So whether, I don't want to say acts of reverence, right? Because what if seeking permission or asking for forgiveness for things or asking for mercy and this, what if all of that is eradicated and all fall into the realm of human sentiments and means nothing once we leave? Because one thing that is very resounding for us that the guides often say, and it's been written a whole lot of times, is that no one judges you on the other side. There is no judge for you on the other side when you pass. The idea is you judge you. It's you. You can't live with this. So you would like to make it up to someone else. And next thing you find, that desire brings you back into life. It's like, it's what we keep thinking falls within the realm of divinity, the other side, God, heaven, source, all of that. What if all of that is nothing? It's absolutely just the result of generations of discourse. But we're so deep in discourse and labeling things and beings and this and that and contesting and recontesting and trying to rewrite and all that we can't even realize, oh shoot, all of this is not real at all. We're just so deep in conversation that it's like, oh yeah, it's like having this hypothetical situation or discussion with your friend. So what if, get this, what if you're an ant and I'm an aardvark? What would that mean and then like an hour later you guys are like, yeah, but what if he got his driver's license though? What if the ant got his driver's license? Think about it. Then there would be so many things that he can transport, whereas you guys can have less of you aardvarks in one car. We can have billions of us in one car. So I would think that the ant is a better, and then your friend comes up and you're like, dude, what are you guys talking about? And you both look up and you're like, oh, nothing. Okay, nothing, my bad, right? And so it's probably like that. So when she said God is within and that I probably wouldn't be able to understand it at that time, listen, I'm out here, I'm like, listen, I'm not here. I try to be in that mindset where it's like seek first to understand and then to be understood. So I'm not here and trying to ask you, to dumb it down for me and explain to me what that means. I'm going to take it and acknowledge, I don't know what this is. And I think I know, but if she's saying that, and even though I can sit here and write a whole book on why I think what my philosophy about it is real, if she's seeing me and she's like, hey, you don't know though, but you'll get it later, then maybe that means to me I have to take some time and allow that answer to come through me. And sometimes we think that because we don't have the answer to something, that it doesn't exist. But remember, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Sometimes you're so in the middle of that lesson, so much in the middle of that learning and the experiencing of whatever it takes to arrive at awareness that you can't even see it. So a lot of you may not believe it. This is why the guides always bring us back to having ideological flexibility. So ideological flexibility, as they used it before, is just the tactic that we should hold on to as we move through this planet, because the truth is we cannot see around corners. We can't see more than we're capable of seeing for many reasons, right? And so because how can we deal with the lack of a lack of awareness? How can we deal with the mystery like that? Well, the best thing you can do is to understand that you're in mystery. And so you allow yourself to be flexible enough to hear what's coming in, to feel into it, live it a bit, and then when you're ready, let it go. And part of ideological flexibility is also very much a suggestion for energetic health, because when you get so rigid in your beliefs, guess what else is getting rigid? Your energy field. And so that's why it's very, very important for you to be as loose as you can, be as malleable as you can. So just as easily as you come into certain ideologies, you can gently flow out and not make it mean anything about yourself or make it mean anything about other people. Because listen, I don't want to see the energetic fields of those of us, because we've all done it across lifetimes, who have killed and maimed and discredited others in the name of our ideologies. Okay, that's hard-headedness. And speaking of hard-headedness, I did a quick energy work for a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, God bless, who's probably not listening to this video, but God bless. And what I needed to do for her was to open her up energetically. That was our soul contract, to open up her energy field so that she can start to step into her service, right? Her service, whatever it was. And when I say step into service, I don't mean like all of a sudden overnight you're going to be like, I realized I needed to open an NPO for children's literacy, and so the next day I went and I got a license. No, you may actually hang a shingle 8 years later, but the point is, energetically speaking, you're on the path now. You're starting, you've been activated, right? And so I needed to do that for her. And when I was working in her field, I literally had to unscrew. It's like these big bolts. I had to unscrew certain bolts because it looked like she had a helmet, like a biking helmet on, and it was nailed to her head. And like it was just hard. It was hard. And so what that told me and what we communicated to her was that she was so ideologically locked in to what? Religion? No. Culture. Okay? Her culture was so strong that she couldn't even like get onto her path as a light worker or starseed or whatever. Actually, she was her energy was coming through as a dragon and law enforcement. We'll just leave it at that. 27 minutes, 27 seconds. If you know, you know, right? And so I was like, okay, well, let me see what we can do. And I had to explain that to her, because when we get these things explained to us in practical language and we're able to really sit with it, it really, really does help to loosen up the energies in your field, right? So this is why things like, yo, you're so hard-headed, right? Those terms make their way into language because they reflect something. All right. I do want to say one more thing about the head issue. And it's interesting because I feel like there might be some crown chakra work that needs to be done coming up for a lot of us, myself included, right? So maybe that's why we're highlighting this. Another person, it's an ex of mine, no names, double God bless, God bless, God bless, part Midwest and part... part, you know, the way God said it. But anyway, he had major wasn't asthma, allergies, major allergies. And when he lives in a state where, what was it that he was allergic to? It was oh my God, it wasn't, I can't remember, but it was like every season it's big out there anyway. And he struggles and he struggled. So one day I was just like, you know, his head was in my lap and I was just kind of working there, and his head had like, it was so, the energy around his crown, around his head was brown. It was like brown, right? Like this brown. And it was hard. And so I was like cracking it, and it was like a shell candy, whatever that is. I don't know what it is. Brittle. Yeah. And it was like, and needing to dissipate, right? So I want you to know, and of course we know that the allergies and the buildup there around the head, those are just symptoms of a belief system. He had very strong Taurus energies, hard-headed. I know I have a Taurus moon, so listen, I can say that. But the point is that we have to be mindful about our beliefs and our thoughts and our feelings. It's the belief that gives structure to your entire field. It precipitates into your thoughts, and it precipitates into your feelings, and it precipitates into your gut reactions. It is not your feelings, it is not your thoughts and this and that is where things are originating, right? It is your belief. And that is what creates worlds. Because guess who you are? You're a creator being. And that's why you don't need to learn how to manifest. You're already manifesting. You're so good at it. The point is that you're just tired of struggling under the weight of your manifestations. And so it's kind of like, well, hey, I know you have like manifested a bowl for yourself, but wouldn't you like to have a whole mansion for yourself instead of a bowl? Well, speaking of, this guy's like, hey, what's wrong with a bowl though, for real? Well, he wants a bowl, so he's doing him, right? But the point is, you want to become more adept at determining from a conscious mind perspective what it is that you want, right? And so for that, you have to start understanding what you're working with. Because you might be wishing for a man, but your entire energy field is like, men. I don't love men. They don't love me. I don't get them, and they're just the scum of the earth. Well, what healthy male that is capable of loving you and seeing you within the light of God will even sniff you out? You are not a vibrational match to that energy. And frankly, why would you wish yourself with that energy onto this kind man? So guess what the universe is going to send you? Someone just like you, right? 31 minutes, 31 seconds, not making this up. So you have to understand what you believe is what you will into being. And what you believe is not necessarily at the conscious mind perspective, and that's why the inner work comes in. Any hoodles, let's take a look at these cards. So the Knight of Swords, this first, he's doing his thing. The Knight of Swords, the Death card, and the Knight of Cups. Wow, what is going on? While we take a look, let's take a look together. I'm going to go ahead and take a sip. Goodness. Oh, hold on. This is almost appearing like different lives. Oh, I was going to say lifetimes, a progression of lifetimes. And I heard the guide say lifestyles. So I do want to let you know that for some of you, this is operating on two different levels here. So let me first talk about different lifetimes, what I'm seeing. It's almost like here you are, super cute. And for some of you, this is somebody that you have a romantic connection to, 33 minutes, 11 seconds. I went to say 33 minutes, 11 seconds, and you heard me say 30 minutes. So 30 is coming up again here. I don't know who that's for, but you may know. But I do want to show you, it's almost like you had, you started off with your lifetimes, you're in right frame of mind, you're all shielded up, you've got ideas, you're doing your thing, your guides are here. And somehow along your different lifetimes, there's a degradation of self, right? There's a devolution that is, and it's not even necessarily a devolution, which is the opposite of evolution, right? It's not necessarily a devolution for some. No, yeah, let's because that would be a different distinction altogether. That's a more energetic distinction. So let's put it, there was a time, there was a phase, there was some time where you spent in a state of degradation. So let's say that in the first couple lifetimes that they're highlighting here, first 4 lifetimes, not of your life of existence, but that they're highlighting, you were very much involved in creative pursuits. Your soul and your spirit were so excited about trying your hand at creation. You were maybe an artist in a few of those lifetimes. In the 4 of them, you were a heavy artist. You were an artist. You were trying different things. Maybe in the first one, you were just somebody who was inspired by a traveling artisan or something, and from that day on, I mean, you still were tilling the fields and doing whatever you were doing in your society, but from that day on you started to appreciate beauty a little bit more. And then in the second lifetime, you decided this time you'd try to get your feet a little wet, and maybe in that second lifetime you lived in a society where war came and interrupted you, but somehow you were still able to have times where you could delve into artistry, like maybe, I don't know, somehow, but it was hard for your soul to really express that desire to create, because guess what? You incarnated into a time and place where war was a thing. So you got distracted. And then but you still had some really great times to practice with your art and to appreciate more of the art. So maybe in that lifetime you apprenticed somewhere, but then at the around age 11, 12, and then at the age of 13, they shipped you off, or your schooling got interrupted, or just whatever, because of war, and you never had a chance to really develop more. And then maybe, let's say in the third lifetime, that time you came down and you wanted to really try your hand at artistry, and so in this lifetime, in that third lifetime, you made it so that you were patronized. So somebody became your benefactor, and so for whatever reason you were able to study art in that period, and you got to hobnob with major artisans, and you made a little bit of a name for yourself, just a little bit, but through that you started hobnobbing with a little bit of the darker stuff as well. So there was a lot of drinking, a lot of drugs, and opium, or whatever back in these days, whatever with the storyline they're saying. And then, maybe you had some failed relationships, and you started to become jaded with the whole artistry lifestyle. And then by the fourth lifetime, you were, you came down, your soul incarnated, and you were trying to really get into doing art. But more, you just became strung out on the energy of injustice and anger, and you lost the beauty of the art. Now, you had the skill, but you were tortured, and so here we have, like, maybe lifetime 4 to 7. Here we have that full-on degradation that's representing you until to the point that maybe in your 7th lifetime you were really even struggling to rub 2 pennies together, even though you had like incredible skill in your hands, and then you lost one of your hands in a freak accident, quote unquote, right? But long story short, your vices stopped you, and your vices and your stubbornness and poor attitude stopped you from being able to express yourself in that 7th lifetime. Because look at your energy field. Look where you started off just lifetimes before, excited, and over time, you got your feet wet a little bit, but started mixing with the wrong crowd, and then eventually, you reached the 7th lifetime in 37 minutes 37 seconds, and now you're more, vice laden and bitter than inspired and creative. And then guess what? Maybe by the 9th lifetime, here you are, you're completely off in madness, right? You're trying different styles, you're doing different things. But if I were in that lifetime with you, God bless, as your lovely, friendly, intuitive counselor, I'd be like, hey, you're confused. Don't tell me I'm confused. This is my art. I know what I'm doing. Now shut up and let me ride this person. And this person's here. And then you're like, look, take a picture of me. It's me, the bird, and this person with reins. This is art. And meanwhile, I'm looking at you and I'm like, no. If one person does it and I look in their field, it may really be art for them because it's a product of the flow of their energy and health. But as I look in you, I'm seeing lots of your past lifetimes. I'm seeing about 8 to 9 of them. And this is what you have become, 38 minutes, 38 seconds. This is confusion for you, your energy field. And so you need to get back to who you are, and you need to be inspired. And depending on where you are, you may not feel like you want to hear that, because you know who you are and you're an artist and you're making money and what you're doing is edgy and just a lot of people don't appreciate it. They don't like it because they don't know what art is. They're into the old stuff, but this is modern, right? So a lot of people fall into this lifestyle category. Not everybody. Again, that's why we can't judge, but real judgment, and really is really you judge yourself, but real assessment has to be done on the individual level, going into the person's field and taking a look at what their trajectory has been. And here we have this Princess of Swords cutting something out. It's like zoop, now all these lifetimes are collected, they're collapsed and collected into your Akashic records, 1, 2, 3, as a pathway of exploration, right? A pathway of exploration. Just look how she's cutting that, and I just noticed that this cord was here too. There we go. But we unravel all of that. We zoop. Now we put it back down into the Akashics and we record it as, oh, that was that time when my soul wanted to explore this theme of creative expression. But I realized that as I went through all these lifetimes, I realized that I lost myself, and now I understand where I lost my inspiration. And now I'd like to come back down in this lifetime and try again, but from a more balanced perspective. Here's the balance card, and I'm going to see what I can do to raise the field. So it's not just about me, it's about others now, right? So you see here we have this initiation, and that's why they say every sinner, every saint has a past. No, every sinner has a future and every saint has a past. We don't know where we've been. And so that's why we really want to be careful when we're self-judging, especially from the conscious mind perspective. If you can't even, read your energy field, what are we doing, right? So the self-judgment has to stop. But also the judgment of others needs to stop. It's not about judgment, it's assessment. And if you're going to really sit down and assess what is going on within anybody and the way they're choosing to wield their energy, then you have to take a look at where they've been. You have to understand what they've been trying to accomplish from a soul level, what their influences have been, and you track it all across lifetimes for that theme. But eventually your team, 41 minutes, 41 seconds, your team is going to stop the flow, right? And you and your team are going to stop whatever this line is that you've been kind of going down, because now it's done. And so thank you. Oh, thank you. So they're saying a lot of us in this lifetime, I'm not sure how many of us, and I'm getting the 38 energy again. A lot of us in this lifetime have been closing out certain cycles of learning, right? Lifetimes of learning. And it's happened quite a few times where I've been working with a client, super cute, and I can tell that this is a major thing for them, whatever it is, because they've been working on it for lifetimes. And sometimes we just have to say, thank you. Now you may not know, nobody in your life knows, because who knows your soul contract, right? But I know, just kidding, no. God knows, right? And if you get to know, then I say you go out there and you have yourself a little party, because it's a major accomplishment, even though it looks like nothing here. Down here, it's like, hey, did you take that job? Oh, no, you know what? I turned it down. I know it was 6 figures, but it just didn't feel right for me. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. Or some people are like, oh my God, you're so dumb. Why'd you do that? But it doesn't matter, because you're okay with that. You have no idea how many lifetimes it took you to get to this point and to say no to something that energetically on some level you knew was going to destroy you, okay? And you thought, no, it's not what I want for myself. I want health, I want well-being, I want happiness. I know where that other path leads and I don't want to be there anymore. And so that's why we see this right here. This is you, super cute, the hermit, looking back 43 minutes, 38 seconds. At where you were. Confusion. 7 of Swords. Confusion. Confusion today is often perceived as modern, as respectable, as hashtag goals, as influential, right? As the way, as the socially responsible thing to do. We don't know what is. Just understand that Earth is very much the upside down. If you can be on a planet where you've got nurses and teachers and doctors and people in fields, lawyers in public interest positions just being shat on because they're not making big bucks, or they're not this, they're not that, it's upside down. That's confusion. 44 minutes, 44 seconds. We have to honor those who give service to others, even if no one ever knows their name and all they do is plant plants around the neighborhood. It doesn't matter. It's the energy and it's the heart, right? These are the heroes. It's not the people being paid billions of dollars to sing off in some place that's filled with depravity for the night, and generally speaking, right? That's a waste. It's a waste in many ways, right? And so it's great for the soul who's getting to have that experience, and for some people they're getting to have a collective experience too. But don't get swayed by thinking that is by any means what is going to trump certain things that are, I would say, maybe worth a lot more attention, like teaching and like caring for the self and like allowing for creativity without judgment and all sorts of stuff. It's pretty much a call for balance. So in the month of May so far, because so far it's mid-month, in the month of May, I'm meeting you here at this super cute meeting to kind of summarize what we've been going through. So if you are vibing with the energies in this video, then please know that you have been shaking off major energies. For some of you, maybe a lot of you, lifetimes worth of effort has paid off. And so the idea now is to look back, and yes, to comprehend and to understand, but aren't you curious about what lies ahead for this, I almost said monk, for this hermit? I am. Oh, for a second there, oh my gosh, I was putting it down and I thought I saw somebody, I thought this was somebody come right out there, because I'm like, because the pictures move for me to give this narrative. And it's like, this person made me jump, like, who's that? So let me see who's that? Yeah, who this? Who that? It all of a sudden, he's like, all of a sudden, I just heard him say, my past. That's my past. Because he's looking like Godzilla here, or Gojira, right? Look at him. He's like stomping off that way. For a minute there, I thought it was coming this way, but I was like, no. He's like, that's my past. It's done. It's done. Whatever the karmic lesson is, whatever the line of experience is, over lifetimes, however many lifetimes my guides and I have been learning through, it's done already. I'm past that. My Akashic records have already shown a mark of completion, and now I'm off, right? And so that's what I'm getting for you. I do want to pull in this card right here, the Ace of Cups, showcasing this, where's the other card? Showcasing the meeting of oneself and a releasing of the past. Now, if you need help to think of it like, we have to get outside of our normal framework. Think of it as you are a God being. They're like, okay, isn't that what we are? Yeah. Think of it that you're a God being, and you decided to come down to a certain planet to have a few sets of experiences, theme-based experience learning. You got what I'm saying. You came to experience within a certain planetary system, because this time it just happened to be Earth, and you came with a plan. You wanted to experience something because your soul wanted to explore something. What the soul is exploring is always going to be a theme. What is the theme the soul is trying to embody and explore a little and to feel and to understand and to delve in from different perspectives? Is it justice? If it is justice, maybe one day, in one lifetime, you want to be a criminal, and another one you want to be a law enforcement person, and the other one you want to be a judge, and the other one you want to be, a person who writes a book about something you saw, right? What do you want to be in relation to that theme? Because you're trying to understand it. But eventually, you're going to finish studying whatever that theme is. And then you're deuces. You take the learning, it's been recorded, and now you're up and out. And you're like, bye, 49 minutes, 49 seconds. And you're all the more richer for it. And I was just going to say, but hopefully you left behind something of value. But wait, you're not done yet. Because maybe some of you, especially if you're on this call, some of you may decide, well, now that I've learned enough about this, like maybe I'd like to kind of come back and do a senior project. Maybe I'll come back and help others who are kind of going through the same theme as me. And here you are, sitting on your couch, listening to this in your cute little starseed sweater, whether you call yourself a starseed or a light worker or a dark worker or a bodhisattva or whatever you call yourself, if anything. Does Batman call himself Batman? We don't know. Whatever you call yourself, here you are, okay? So you're in a position to be of service. It's so funny because as I'm saying this now, I'm like, oh, spirit, they feel like they're issuing a call, another calling. So you're being called. So some of you are being called. You have the contract. You know who you are. You know exactly who you are. The question is, are you ready? Are you ready? Right? Okay, waiting. Anyone gonna finish that line? If you know the second, if you know what to say back to what I just said, then you're dating yourself at this point, okay? We know the music, right? Anyway, ooh. Just when I think I'm gonna end this reading. Okay. By the way, the second part is, yes, I'm ready to fall in love. Now, as I said that in my mind, my eyes rested on this tree outside that actually has some flowering, I don't know, are those flowering plants? It's a little bit in the distance, but, those are hummingbird flowers. Okay, that makes sense. Anyway, and they're red, and it's like to fall in love. So, oh my God, I literally just heard them say this, master project, and they made this sound, I can't remember, or something like that, or something like that, done. Let's go outside now and meet somebody. So wow, so for somebody here, or some of you, I don't know, there's going to be divine partnership. Now my voice is hushing down a little bit because I'm getting the energy that's coming through my window feels so good in line with this energy. I'm getting golden mate. Oh, that's so funny because that reminds me of the Golden Gate Bridge, right? But anyway, I'm getting golden mate. So some of you here, you're going to be coming into contract, but I also heard the terms contrast with, so you don't think you're coming into some union without learning, right? You're going to be coming into some type of contract or contrast with someone else. I do see suitcases. It's funny because I'm getting the Japanese word nimotsu, right? And it's like luggage, right? I'm getting suitcases, and it's funny that term came up, and the way that I'm seeing it is like this. It's like a brown suitcase coming up. So, and I'm getting the word fins, so maybe like fish fins, cute. So whoever these parts are for, these disparate symbols, or unless it's for everybody and somebody has all those, I don't know. Just be ready. I just heard the word October, but I saw the number 8 in reference to August. So make do with whatever that is. They're so funny. They're like, whatever you have to do between August and now to look better. Kidding. You have been given time. So funny. Whose guides are these? Whose guides? Anyway, so long story short, guys, you guys have done amazing work. I'm getting the number 14 for a reason, for somebody. Ooh, got a very strong hit of a European trip come into mind very quickly. So for somebody there as well. Anything else before we close off the call? Oh. Aside from drinking water, continuing to rest because the energies are still doing their thing, I do want to let you guys know that if you'd like to work more personally with us, we do, of course, all sorts of things: energy healing work, intuitive counseling, mentoring services. So if you're interested, come on over to our Etsy page. Hour meaning, 54 minutes, 54 seconds, cute. Hour meaning me and my spare team. Me doing all the typing and everything. But them too, they're doing a lot of heavy lifting. We're working as a team. So if you're interested and you'd like to come, remember you can come with any kinds of questions, whether it's about your house or your lover, your love life or lack thereof, or any problems or issues, or if you have anything you'd like to talk about in terms of your soul contract, you know where to find us. Until then, I wish you all of the best. And I do want to say that I think I'm going to be restructuring the content that I put out. So just bear with me, you guys. You see the chaos. So I think I'm going to be moving from a daily channeled message to a weekly channeled message, right? And we'll see. Okay, God bless you. Mwah. Bye.